All right, here's a quick start, see if it'll even start. Running a little rough. Let's change out this whole exhaust system. All right, I've got one remaining bolt to get out of here. And I'm sure it's completely messed up. I don't know what is going on with this thing. I guess I'm making progress. I'd love to put the super tool in here. Just don't think I have the right adapter. So, doing this the old-fashioned way. Oh, there's another fucking bolt underneath. Oh, yeah, this one's barely in there. Now, there's that one. Ah, there's still another bolt. Holy shit. Oh, I gotta take that one off too. Note to self, don't grab the inside of that thing. All I want to do is get this hose off. Oh, yeah. All right, so here you can see the inside of the water jacket between the exhaust manifold and the head. Well, actually it's the block. So I gotta scrape off all this old gasket material, and then I'm pretty sure I have a new gasket for it. Yeah, I don't know what was up with that one screw. Looked like it was bound up in the manifold, the exhaust manifold. So here's a comparison of what they look like. Here you have the stock exhaust. So exhaust comes into this. It's cooled by two water inlets. That goes up into here. That fills this cavity up with water, and then the water goes into that water jacket that you just saw. Circulates through the head, comes back around. One goes into here, goes all the way in here. Sometimes it goes out here, other times it goes inside this whole thing and then comes out here. So there's a lot of passageways and craziness that the exhaust has to follow. On this old vintage Butch's pipe, which is similar to the West Coast pipe, basically it comes out of the exhaust manifold, comes in, oh wait, let me go get that. So there's that exhaust manifold. Here's this exhaust manifold. So it comes out of there, goes basically straight up this pipe through here, expands in here, and then out this way through the exhaust. So a much sort of cleaner way to go about getting this exhaust out, whereas this kind of goes into this big chamber, bounces around in here, and finally makes its way out of here. We'll get that flange cleaned up, and then hopefully the bolts won't be too hard to get that exhaust manifold in, because we won't have all this other shit all over. We might have to put this one, this coolant inlet, into here. Hopefully it's low profile enough because the starter is in the way. Here's what this looks like. And then we'll have to cut down this exhaust pipe here. But in addition, I got to take this fuel tank out and basically take a look at the water box up front, which is way up there. It's hard to see. All right, so what we've got here is the old West Coast exhaust, which we'll clean this up a little bit, make it look nicer. Oh yeah. This was originally on my old jet ski, my 1984 jet ski, that my buddy Tom picked up from the guy I sold it to. So it's just very funny that Tom has my old ski right now. Originally, I had a single inlet for coolant, but because this jet ski has dual lines for coolant, one right here and here, I took the fitting off of the original exhaust, put it on there, and it seems to, if I just finagle it a little bit, it clears the starter, which, let me see if I can get in there, which you could see right there. Sure, that really looks good, but it does clear it. And basically I just got to connect those lines, and that's looking pretty good. I'm going to put in the hardware. I have a new gasket on there, cleaned up the surfaces a little bit, cleaned this up a little bit, and I'll start putting this back together. And then I'm going to reroute some of this stuff and change that. One of my biggest fears was having the correct hardware, so I'm having to see how much I can get these in. I don't know if I might need to find some other hardware, but let's see if we get these long bolts. And all right, 4 are in, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the bottom. All right, those 2 fit. Let's see, now I think it's just the short ones. I still have to find 2 nuts for these. And then I got 2 more underneath there. I think most people put these back together with the engine out of the hull. Makes a lot of sense to me. All right, now with everything tight, I'm going to go around and give everything the old 1-2 tight. All right, can't believe it, but the exhaust manifold is on. I wish it was cleaned up a little more. Maybe I'll do a little cleanup on that. Clean up on aisle 6. You got that water jacket inlet there. We got the other one here. So it looks like we got some good stuff. That shoots a bunch of water in through, like when the water goes in, both of those goes in this whole thing and then goes into the motor. So it has lots of cooling, which I guess is good. So here's the update. I've got the exhaust manifold mounted. I added a stud here to match this stud, even though this one's longer. This one should work. And then I've test fit the, I guess we'll call this the header pipe. And that looks to be pretty good. We have enough thread on there and on the back side. And so I'm going to reroute some of these coolant lines. But the next thing I have to do is drain the gas tank, pull this out, and then double check everything with the water box up front. I also have the coolant lines underneath there, and it's hard to see on the other side. And this one right there hooked up. So basically water will come out of the head right here, go directly into this. It cools this down and then comes out here and then shoots forward into this fitting there. That's the other side of it. I don't really see any major issues. I think just have to cut down this tube here and then fit it onto that super trap, which I have to secure better because it's bouncing around. But that's where I'm at right now. I think I might take a break, go grab something to eat. Okay, I guess this is sort of part 2 of the video, and I just siphoned out the gas from the tank because I got to pull the tank to get to the super trap water box. Water box is kind of a muffler. It's sort of like a muffler on a jet ski. There's the tank. Got to unstrap it, undo that hose clamp, and then I'll pull the tank out, and then I can get to the water box and just go through that, make sure all that's tight and everything before I finish fitting this pipe and the coolant line and all that stuff. So one of the things I'm going to do is, right now we have 2 inlets going into the bottom of this exhaust manifold, but we have 3 outlets. So what I want to do, I'm going to block this outlet off because it's basically right next to this one. This one is going to go right here, kind of how it was via the factory. And then with this extra one, I'm going to take this and just exit it out for the pisser. And that's going to let me know that I've got water going through the head. So with this one blocked off, we should have enough pressure going through this into this to cool this off. I got the super trap exhaust out, and there's a slight dent here. That's not the big deal. The big deal is the boot is ripped. So I don't know if I could clamp it here on that pipe. I'm gonna have to try and then order another one of these boots, which will be annoying to have to put in after I already get this out. So this probably ripped because it's 40 years old, and now I got to deal with figuring out how to get it in there. Okay, so I did a little work while since the last cut, and here's where I'm at right now. I've got the pipe in, the band secured, then I got the exhaust connected there, super traps in there. Let's see, super traps up in there, which is that blue thing. I got it connected right there, so I bypassed that rip that was in that thing, and hopefully that's all we needed to do. And now we're gonna put the gas tank back in. I gotta try and secure down the water box with a strap because we don't want that thing to get loose. I don't know if we can get a strap on it, so I'm gonna have to try real hard. Oh, I got this coolant line comes out of the head, goes into the exhaust manifold. The water that's circulating in here comes out here, goes into here, and then from here it goes into the water box and then out the exhaust pipe there. That's just a little block off thing because I'm not using that. The other tube I have to make still is the water out. It's called the pisser. So the water that comes out of here will go right out of here and then out this little guy there. And so what that tells you as a rider when you see water coming out of this is water is going through the motor, through the engine, through the head, and it'll finally come out that side. So part of the water comes out that way, part of the water gets diverted and cools off the manifold here, the expansion chamber, all this stuff. So we'll see if this holds together. We might have to make some adjustments. We'll see if it all works. One more piece of the puzzle. I gotta put that clip on, that band on, which is right here. That goes on there. And then I gotta make one piece of tubing, goes from here to the pisser. So that's what I got left to do. Tighten the spark plugs and then give it a start. And we'll see how it sounds. Should sound a little different than before. One more to go. Here's the first startup with the new exhaust. Let me just do a visual check. Everything's going somewhere. Exhaust is hooked up. Let's see. Starts, it runs. Need a little tuning because the exhaust is so different. But that's it for today. Liz, do you have anything to say?
I think it's a job well done.
You ready to cook some sausages and peppers?
Cooking.
Jake, do you have anything to say? Yeah, we got the carburetor fixed, Dad. Thanks. Thanks for your help.
Okay. Sounds dope.
Sounds dope. There you have it. Got to fiddle around with the jets. But there you have it. Why is the gas tank out, you're asking? Where's the gas tank? What gas tank does that go to, Jake?
The rear Jetski.
Why is the gas tank out?
Gotta take the motor out.
You hear that? That's thunder. And we might have to postpone our motor out. So basically, we've got this in here, these two plugs. We did a leak down test of the motor. Crank seals are leaking and the compression's down. Instead of what, 125? What are we at?
115. No, we're at 90.
90. So we're 35 PSI down. So we're gonna take the motor out, and Mark Andrew had a great idea. What did Mark say?
What did he say?
Mark said, bring the motor to Philly with you and have someone in Philly do it so it's done, and then when you come back we'll do that. So right now we're going to take the motor out and you guys can sort of watch and see what we do here. So right now we're putting the mounting bolts.
These go on first.
I know, but you can slide them underneath before you screw in the bolt. So basically, we got the motor out. On each corner of the engine mount, you've got little shims. So I'm basically putting the shims back in the proper places where they were found. And right now, motor's out. Maybe we could try to take some of this water out, and then we can put this in the shed. It'll be a lot lighter without the motor in it. And then what do we do next year?
Clean it.
And
Motor back
put a motor back in. So here's the motor over here. Oh, here's our parts bag right here. And there's a carburetor and some other parts in the other spot. But here's this. Oh, you know what we have to do? We should take off the exhaust manifold and the intake manifold. So here you got the intake manifold on this side, exhaust manifold on this side. And then we'll give this to the motor guy. If Brendan's guy can do it, we'll have him freshen this guy up. Shouldn't be too hard. And then just lay the strap down and put the handle down. Grab my hat. All right, cool. We'll put that in next year. All right, so basically we're going to take off the exhaust manifold and the intake manifold, so the machinist, whoever works on it, doesn't have to deal with this. It's way easy putting this stuff, taking it off.
Putting it on.
Yeah, after I just put this whole thing on, you know? So now, what am I missing? Looks like everything is good, right? All the bolts are out? Woo! Oily. Alright, so this goes in the bag with all those bolts. Now I'll spin it around. And then I'll take the intake manifold off. And that's a stud because that's a ground for the motor.
Oh, those are the two pistons?
Yeah, and those are the pistons. So intake, exhaust. That's where we're at. Oh God. Say goodbye, Jake. Anyway, that's all she wrote. We'll take the motor back to PA, see if a guy out there can do it. If not, we'll just bring it back here, bring it to the machine shop guy here in town, have him do it next summer. Otherwise, that's it. Too bad we couldn't get the red Jetski really running, but just had, worn out old motor. So next year it'll be firing up on both cylinders with lots of compression. Anyway, thought you might enjoy this episode, a little break from wrenching to race. We're not really racing this thing, but we have fun with it. So 1987 Jetski, JS550 motor. Anyway, that's it for now. Out of here.